been to Vanuatu a couple of times now, and the first couple of times that we did go, we did a boat tour, a ship tour, and we circumnavigated the island. Is that what you call it? Circumnavigated?
A ship tour?
No.
We never took a ship around the island.
No, not a ship.
No, we got a bus, like a minivan.
Yeah, but it was a tour from the ship.
Oh, yeah, we got a tour that we organised on the ship.
To drive us around in a bus.
And it took us clockwise around the island, and it got to the top left-hand corner of the island, the northwest corner, where what do we do then at the village?
I'm just trying to work out what's northwest. Never eat soggy wheat bix. So
northwest, yeah. So we stopped at a village. We got in these kayaks and we pretended we were going into the village.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And the village chief welcomed us.
They were all dressed in their grass skirts and doing their dance with their spears and making noises.
Yeah, it was a good tour.
That was
quite a long time ago when that tour happened. Then we kept going around the island all the way back to the cruise on that one.
They still have the same tour though.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
It was worth seeing, but because we've been there now, like,
lots and lots
probably
of
about
times.
8 times.
Port Vila is like the stop off that everyone goes to all the times.
And it's a good place to stop too. Plus, we really enjoy it because that's where we get our duty-free from.
Yeah, so this video is going to be about the process of getting your duty-free if that's what you're going to do while you're in Port Vila.
Most people do. Like, some people get it on the ship because they don't know that it's cheaper in Vanuatu. But if your cruise is going to Vanuatu, just hold off and we'll explain how it all works.
So your ship will pull into the port in Port Vila if it's an average size ship. I've noticed that the larger ships now, like what's the big one now, something of the seas. Anyway, the larger ships now, they pull in near one of the islands and they get the tenders into where the port is, where the ships drop off.
I don't know if that's true.
Oh yeah, I googled it. Yeah, because I wasn't sure, but I noticed that the bigger ships don't stop in the port, they bring the tenders in.
When we've been, we've always gone straight into port. We've never had to get a tender, so that's why I thought he was just making that up.
No, I don't make things up. Now, so when you get into the port, even when the tenders come in, apparently they come into the same spot where the ships come in, you get off the ship and the first thing you will be seeing usually is lots of tents and gazebos set up with small markets everywhere.
Well, that's what you used to see.
The tourist things. And I think we didn't see it last time we were there because there was a big cultural event on in town. So all those gazebos were in town instead. So I don't know. It always changes. Things always change. So you usually would see gazebos there, I know that.
Yeah, we used to. I don't think they're there anymore though, by the looks of things.
So you walk out of the port, you walk out of the gates, and first thing you'll be faced with is lots and lots of minivans, which is their version of taxis, ready to take you into town or on a tour. You can wheel and deal with the people there at the minivans about going on a tour and taking you somewhere on the island.
It's a gazebo. So you walk out of the gate, to your left there's a gazebo with tours written on it. They've got maps and then they've got all their vans lined up and they'll ask you where you want to go. Most people just say they want to go into town, but they're hoping that people will say they want to do a tour or they want to do this, or you know, they get ideas from the ship and want to do their own thing. So if you decide you want to just go into town, it's $5 Aussie. You don't have to change your money. They do accept Aussie dollars over there. So it'll be $5 each
If
way.
they try to tell you any different, just say, no, we'll give you $5. $5 per person. Now there is an alternate way to get into town. We've never done it this way because we're a ways later off the ship than most people. But the water taxis will also come up to the rocks where you can get a water taxi for $5 per person. It'll take you into the centre of town as well. You'll be sharing your taxi with a group of other people. You might have to wait a little while. It'll take you into town. Now, we've never had a problem with any driver or any people in Port Vila. They've all been very nice, very helpful. They're all trying to make a living. Like any place, you're going to have dodgy people, but we have never come across anyone, and we've never heard of anyone coming across and having issues with the transportation.
No, it's all been
Port
very
Vila.
safe
Yeah.
from what we've heard, yeah.
So it'll take you into town, and it won't really take you, generally they won't take you to where you want to go exactly. They've got a drop-off point in town where because of the traffic, and it's like a one-way circuit, they'll drop you off at a bus terminal in the centre of town. Now,
Everything's close, so it doesn't really matter. Everything's within like 5-10 minutes walk.
yeah, that's right. You can walk around town, not a problem. Now, when we get off the bus terminal, you walk down to the main street, where you're eventually on the main street. You can go left, you can go right. We go right, and that's because we're heading towards the duty free that we enjoy shopping at.
So we're just walking through the main street of Vanuatu at the moment, in Port Vila, just looking for duty free shop to buy some alcohol. It's usually the cheapest place that you can get alcohol when you're on a cruise. If you get to stop in Port Vila, that's where we always go. So this is what we're looking for, the big yellow building. And this is the name of the duty-free shop that I always buy from. So inside you'll find a variety of jewellery. You've got your Rolex up there, you've got all your different sunglasses, makeup. We've shopped at the same duty-free shop from day one. So the very first time we went to Vanuatu, we stopped at that big yellow building, the name's on the video, and we've never had a problem with anything getting delivered to the ship.
No. I know there are duty-frees in town.
There's a few of them.
I've never heard any bad things about them. We're just showing you the way that we do it, the duty-free that we go to.
Yeah.
So you get off the bus, you turn right, you walk up to the end of town, which isn't far at all, 100 to 200 metres max, and you'll see the big yellow building, and in that duty-free you get lots of things like alcohol. Cigarettes.
It's on the video.
It's on the video. There's stuff that isn't on the video. There's musical instruments, sporting goods, and so forth. So you get all your gear, you take it to the counter, and they seal it in a plastic bag, get all your details, you pay for it, you don't take the goods with you, they take the goods to the ship, and you get it when you get back to whatever port you're in Australia.
Yeah, where you're disembarking the boat from is where you get your duty free just before you get off the ship. So we came back to Brisbane, so before we could get off the boat, we needed to collect our duty free and then we could get off.
Yeah, it was really easy. You just tell them what room you're in on the ship.
And when you're in the store at Vanuatu, they just ask you for your room number and they have a look at your cruise card.
And they take all the details.
Yeah.
It's all legit. Don't worry about not seeing your duty free again. I've never heard of anyone losing their duty free.
And we paid for that by card. So we just tapped our card over in Vanuatu when we paid for that.
Really easy. And it's a lot cheaper than buying alcohol in Australia. I can guarantee that. Now, from there we met someone with some lizards. One on the shoulder, one on the other side.
I am doing this this is how I make small income out of it to helping us for living.
Okay.
Just made like $5.
Yeah.
You'll see that in the video.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy with that because I was just surprised he had all these iguanas all over him, and I just stopped and had a look, and the next thing you know, he's putting them on Alan, and then telling us he charges $5 for a photo.
Well, he wasn't telling us we had to, but you felt obligated to pay $5.
You felt like, you're in a position where you feel like you want to help support the local people, but you don't want to encourage them to be using wildlife as their source of
Way I
income.
make- yeah, we'll suck it in. It was $5 for a photo.
So, what do you do?
That's it. Yeah.
So I felt really bad about it. We did pay him the $5.
But
It
after we
was
saw-
on
yeah.
video. But just be aware of that. If you're not into that sort of thing, just don't ask, don't even talk to the people that have these lizards on them, because there were a few. That was the first time ever in Vanuatu we've encountered that.
It's a new thing.
Yeah, it's a new thing. So hopefully it doesn't.
And after we saw him, we saw lots of them doing it.
Yeah.
It's a new trend that started from making money.
Yeah, so I mean, we won't be doing it again, and we definitely won't be paying anyone $5 again to.
Use wildlife in that way.
No.
No. Okay, we walked down to the shoreline behind the duty-free shop. And along the shoreline, you'll see things like, depending on what day you're there at, you'll see markets, but there are cafes, there's a pub along there. There's lots of little things you can do, nice park area.
Restaurants.
We were lucky enough, we were there when there was a cultural week on with all the different islands from around the Pacific come and show their wares and
They were
skills
dancing
and
and
dances.
making canoes and doing art and
Yeah, so
all
we're
different
lucky for
things.
that.
Yeah.
So you walk about another 100 to 150 metres along the waterfront, and you'll come across the taxi
taxis.
rank, water taxi spot. There's also water sports there if you want to do water sports. I remember seeing them. So you go to the taxis, there might be a little bit of a line up. They wait until they've got a certain amount of people before they get everyone on the water taxi. So we decided to get the water taxi back to the cruise ship on a boat that's designed for 10 people. We've got 13 on board.
If there was room for another butt to get on that boat, they would have kept on loading them on. So just be aware that it's not safe. It's not.
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say it's not safe because it was a pretty safe trip.
It was safe, but they don't stick to safety requirements.
Yeah.
They don't care about that.
Yeah.
So just say
There's no life vest.
no. So just say, you're not a swimmer and you're on this boat. Be aware that it's got more people in it than it should, and it could capsize. And if you can't swim and there's no lifeboat, no life vests, who knows? Who knows?
But it is a good trip. The trip you go
Yeah.
past one of the tourist islands, Ariki Island or something like
Resort.
that. A resort, and it's got a casino on it. I wouldn't rate it as the greatest resort in the world, but it's good to get the taxi past and see all these different things, and you get to see all different ships and yachts and so
And the water
forth.
was beautiful and clear, so that was nice too.
And it drops you right back at the cruise ship.
Yeah, where you get your van from at the beginning, the boat basically takes you back to that spot.
And that was $5 per person.
Again, we just paid $5 Aussie dollars.
Yeah. So we did a round trip.
Yeah.
To us, that's a nice simple day in Port Vila. We go do some cheap alcohol shopping and back on the cruise for lunch.
No, we got off after lunch.
Okay. Back on the cruise for afternoon dinner. Lots of food on a cruise. Yeah.
Like we said, there's plenty of options. You can do the tours from the ship. You can make your own tour from your own research and then get someone from the island to drive you around and do it that way. Or you can just pay $5 and just go into town. If it's your first time in Vanuatu, I would recommend you do a tour taking you up to the waterfalls and the streams and doing the cultural sort of stuff. But after you've done that the first time, just getting out and going into town is
Even if you do a
good enough.
half-day tour and come back,
Yeah.
do your duty-free after your half-day tour.
That would be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need to do the 8 hours. That was a bit long, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each to their own.
So that's Vanuatu.
Yeah. Then we sailed out at sunset and it was beautiful.
It was.
Yeah.
Always is. Okay, let's go on another cruise. If you found this video entertaining, helpful or inspiring, would love for you to consider subscribing to our channel and hitting that notification bell. Subscribing will ensure that you never miss out on any of our future content that we create, especially for you.